We're getting ready to start the meeting. If you make sure your phones are silenced, that would be helpful so we don't have any interruptions. I'd like to call the meeting of the Parks and Recreation Board to order today, Tuesday, May 20th. Could we have call the roll, please?
Paterna.
I'm here.
Laughlin. Here. Io.
Yes, here.
Swinehart.
Here.
Dombrowski.
Here.
Luzio.
Present.
Alvin.
Here.
We have Tony Galerius, our service director. Weisenberger, our park supervisor. Chad Coons, our recreation director. Did you say Connie? Yeah, I did. Gary Howe, our city council representative, and Mayor Forthover with us this evening.
Okay, and I just want to welcome our new member, Connie Laughlin. We're happy to have her join us. She's been part of some committees previous to being a member of the board, so thank you, Connie. Next order is to approve the minutes of the March 18th meeting first. Could I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll move that we approve the meeting minutes from March 18th.
And I'll second that.
All right, and then, well, I don't have to. Io.
Abstain.
Laughlin. You'll abstain. Paterna.
Yes.
Swinehart.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Abstain, I was not here.
Luzio.
Yeah, abstain, I wasn't here either.
And Alvin.
I was not present on March 18th.
Okay, so those minutes will just have to stand as is because we're never gonna have a motion to approve.
Okay, so
4:15.
we will need a motion to approve the minutes of the April 15th meeting. Could I have a motion?
I'll move that we approve the April 15th, 2025 minutes.
And I'll second that.
Okay, Kyle,
Yes.
Laughlin, Paterna,
Yes.
Swinehart,
Yes.
Dombrowski, Luzio,
Abstain.
Alvin.
Approved.
Motion carried.
Okay. Next, we have community event group use permits, and we do have Dr. Jim Chappell here, who has presented permit use to use the Harbortown Fine Arts Center event, Cleveland Ballet. Is there anything you want to add that's not already noted on the
no, this
permit?
is the third.
If you would come to the podium, please, state your name and.
I'd like to do that. Jim Chappell, give you my address.
Please.
1230 Cherokee Path, Vermilion. President of Harbortown Fine Arts Center, and we've had a 3-year relationship with the Cleveland Ballet, as this being their summer residence of Harbortown Fine Arts Center. They are going to renew that for another 3 years, so this is the 3rd year of presentation. So they're going to be here on July 26th. They'll set the stage up and lights and sound in the morning. Dancers will rehearse in the afternoon. We'll have reception inside Harbortown Fine Arts Center from 6 to 7. The show will be at 7, so hopefully I'll see you all there. Tickets will go on sale probably fairly soon, but we'll let you know.
And do you have a rain date?
We don't, because they're doing something on in Chautauqua on Friday night. Then they're coming here. I'm going to meet with the ballet tomorrow. We're going to talk about that, see what happens. Knock on wood, every year we've had a beautiful evening, so I'm counting on that, but I'll see what they say tomorrow. If we might do a rain date on Sunday, if we could add that into the approval in case they.
Okay. All right, so we have, we need a motion to approve the use of the Village Green from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on July 26, 2025, with a rain date of
It'll be the 27th.
July 27. Could I have a motion?
I'll move that we accept the use permit for July 26, 2025 for the Village Green.
And
The
rain date.
rain date,
Rain date of Sunday, July 27th, to be confirmed by the sponsor of the event.
I'll second that.
Musil,
Yes.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Laughlin,
Yes.
Paterna,
Yes.
Reinhardt,
yes.
Eldon.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you,
very
Jim.
much.
That's a great event. We're happy to have that.
Yes.
And I skipped right over correspondence and presentations, and we do have some correspondence. One correspondence, first of all, sent from the president-elect of the Rotary Club, who would like to donate a little free library to the Parks Department to be installed at one of the city parks. They are suggesting it at Sharon Park near the playground. They would be happy to install it, or if we would rather, the parks maintenance crew could install it. So they would like us to consider that as part of a service project from the Rotary. So we can discuss that now, and we'll move on that later on in the meeting under new business.
Great. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions or anything at this point? Okay. So moving on, we also had correspondence from Roger Skelly Watts regarding an idea that he has for Shared Park. Roger, were you wanting to come up and discuss that at all, or have any comments regarding
Sure,
that?
I could outline it for you.
Okay, come on up to the podium then.
This is my Lysol Star Cap. When I was out in League Park one time, which is the original ballpark of the Cleveland professional baseball team, I noticed on one of the walls, there was a mural to Alta Weiss. And among the things that it said was that she was a pitcher, called her the Girl Wonder. She was a pitcher and recruited to pitch for the Vermilion Independent men's baseball team. I thought, well, that's an interesting story. So I came back and did some research and corresponded with Candy and some others who said that, yeah, that's definitely a Vermilion connection. So she was a 17-year-old baseball pitcher, 1905, 1907. And then she raised enough money that she sent herself through medical school. She was a physician and retired in Rakersville as a physician. So I thought, then I like to walk our dog, our little puppy Golden Doodle, Clara, up above Sharon Park there where the ballpark used to be. I kept thinking, there seemed to be some way to do something with that scoreboard that's still there. So I noticed that Alta Weiss has a baseball card. And I thought, well, we could put the baseball card, enlarge it, put it there in front and in back as a kind of an educational, informational sort of thing. Be fun. And then, so anyway, that's about as far as I got. So I took it to the Public Art Vermilion group, and Kristen Schneid happened to be there with a large group of students. And the girls especially were like, really, she was the first woman in 1917 to go to Starling Medical School, which became Ohio State University eventually. Quite an accomplished woman, businesswoman as well. So anyway, so I thought, that would be kind of a simple project to enhance and fix up that scoreboard and put her baseball card there. So that's my idea. That's about as far as I've gotten. Liz at the meeting mentioned that it used to be called Belden Field, and that John Belden, for years and years, maintained it. And so I looked him up, and Riddle printed his obituary for me, and it mentions that in his obituary too. So, we can make a tribute to him as well while we're at it. So anyway, that's my idea. If you think it's okay to pursue, then I'll need technical assistance to sort of see what the possibilities might be. So that's it.
Will you be working through Public Art Vermilion Committee to do this?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I know that committee does their due diligence, and
Yes.
so it sounds like a nice enhancement to the park there. Any other?
Mark, do you have any input on the use of the scoreboard or?
It sounds like a good use for that.
Yeah, I don't really know the possibilities at all, but, you know, we'll definitely work on the technical aspects of it.
Well, your group is experienced at the process and how things, you know, will move along, and that would be an exciting project, I think, to
Okay.
get going.
Good.
Thanks. The new trail goes right past it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah, there's a bench there and so forth.
Yeah, nice. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
That is all of the correspondence I have at this time. So now we have the city council representative report. Eric? Okay, thank you. That, we move to the mayor. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Yes, well, let's see, today's Tuesday, okay, so Sunday, some of you were able to get to the dedication of Main Street Beach and Park, which was a nice turnout. It was a nice day, and it is a beautiful park. And as I often tell people, it was sort of self-driving. I basically rode around and rode with them and tried to direct traffic to all those goodwill people who wanted to make it happen. I knew when we started the dedication I wasn't going to be able to mention everyone and everything that was donated to that park, but it was over 10 years. That was a lot, and I think it shows what it is. I also want to mention that on this coming Monday, which is Memorial Day, at 9 o'clock every year, rain or shine, the veterans do their dedication at Exchange Park, right in Wharton. That's the one with the clock. I talk about rain dates. One year it was raining and somebody said, "Are you gonna go through with this?" One of the veterans said, "We didn't have a choice of whether it rained or not in the military." So yes, we're going through with it. But not only is it the annual observation by the veterans at the Exchange Park, assuming everything comes together, we should be also able to dedicate the new Gold Star Memorial that's being installed at the same place. I think all the parts of it may still be in process, but there'll be something there. And the Gold Star, of course, is to honor those who lost their lives in service to the military. On the same day, Veterans Day, another park is going to be used, which will be Victory Park. And at 10:30, there's a Memorial Day celebration that's happening there. You'll have to endure some more speeches by me and some other people. And then there's going to be a bike and trike parade, from what I understand, some singing, and it's a wonderful little small town event. So the park's getting a workout in the next week, so I assume everybody who can should take advantage of it.
Nice.
And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. The beauty of living in a small town. Director's reports. Next we have Chad Coons, Recreation Director.
Yeah, so we have baseball and softballs up and going now. We started practice there early May. We have 160 players, 14 teams, 6 leagues. Our leagues that are 8 years old and above are travel leagues, so we can travel within other cities. Our 5 through 7 year olds that we just play here just in Vermilion. As far as our football goes, we have monthly meetings on those. Our registration deadline is July 11th. And we have home games scheduled for, we'll be the host for a number of games throughout the day on August 23rd and September 20th for football when that comes around. And that, again, registration deadline, that's July 2nd. We'll start practice right around August 1st on that. That's all I got.
Chad, what fields do we use for those sports?
For baseball?
Baseball.
We use all the high school fields. Just about all of them get used.
Okay. And the football?
Football stadium will play for our games there. We'll practice on the football practice fields.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Next, Tony Valeria, Service Director.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just wanted to inform the board that the bid opening for the precast restroom for Sheridan Park will be this Thursday at 10 a.m.
Oh,
We'll let you know how that comes out.
very good. Okay. And do we have some bids that are?
Oh, we don't have any bids yet.
Oh.
But
Okay.
Thursday morning, 10 o'clock.
Are coming in at the last minute then, right? Okay,
That's typical.
all right, all right. And next we have Mark Weisenberger, Parks Operation Director.
My going away present for Gwen is a very short report. I just want to say that May, as always, and this year especially, was a very productive month. Working with all the different volunteer groups and other city departments has been a big help as well. And I just want to put a big thank you out there to all of those folks and then Gwen for all her help over the last 6 years. I've enjoyed working with you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
That's it for now. I have some stuff under reports.
Okay. Moving on to subcommittee reports. The first one, budget and finance list.
Nothing new to report.
Okay. Next, we have the Main Street Beach and Park Revitalization Project, and that's what I was working with most recently. Well, and over a longer time period than I'd like, I was charged with signage. And Mark has many signs that still some need to be put up in progress, but one of the signs that we talked about was doing the south side of the pump house a welcome to Main Street Beach. It, you know, in a welcoming kind of way, turned into being more than just a blue and white metal sign. We do have our traditional sign, you know, that's going in the corner of Huron and Main Street, that's traditional throughout the city. So I decided to explore a way to kind of make it creative and also enhance, you know, the entry to the park. And I came up with some help of people that are more experienced. Where are my notes? An idea of something similar to, but not one of the historic postcards. I worked with a graphic artist who developed a winter scene and a summer scene for a beach scene. The proposal that we had, based on experience with the Public Art Committee, was to put it on aluminum composite, a little thicker than the ones that they're using for the postcards, so it would be 6 millimeters. The summer scene would have a glossy, bright finish to kind of, you know, show a summer, you know, kind of theme. The winter would have a matte finish, a little more muted, mimicking the seasons that they represent. They would be, those scenes would be printed on two sides of that aluminum so that we'd flip them. On summer, May to October, we'd have the summer scene. They'd flip November to April to the winter scene. They'd be, and we did work with Tony on this, so, you know, we're gonna have a structure so that they could be easily mounted, again, on the south side of the pump house, and a frame built and painted the same gray as the building, so that, you know, I think it would enhance the entry to the park. Anything, let's see, some, you know, it's not original art, so this is not public art. It's truly a sign, but using graphic art and some AI as well to come up with a, you know, a welcome. So I did share that with board members. I don't know if anybody has any questions. We have to go through the process, of course, with Historic Vermilion to get approval from them because we are, you know, part of Harbortown. So, but it looks like we do have a donor, so this is not going to cost any dollars from our parks budget. So the donor is willing to put the cost for the sign and for the installation and for the graphic art that was created. So Any questions or comments or?
One point of clarification, I really like these, by the way, but I thought that the Historic Design Review had no jurisdiction or authority over government properties, and so that in this case it would be more of a courtesy rather than a true approval by them, is that true?
You know, we went through this process with the public art.
I just wanted to say, because you said we're gonna get their approval on it,
Yes,
and I just
see
want to
what
see
you're
this.
saying, some verbiage.
I just
Yeah,
want to
it
make
is-
sure of what we're talking about.
Yeah, we do need to have a motion to approve our own group actually using that signage. And then I would move forward and explain and give the historic board the information. So, but it is commercial, but they do have jurisdiction over
Okay,
it,
thank you.
yes.
And private.
This, are you doing this solely on your own, or are you going through the Arts Room night?
No, it's not part of public art.
Okay.
It's really, it was a sign that grew into something a lot bigger than just a park hours. We do have that sign too, but it just seemed like, to me, a nicer way to welcome people to the park and the beach.
I was telling Mark, it makes the beach look a lot bigger.
Yeah, you're right, because it's a beach scene. I think it'll be a photo op. I mean, I think people will come to the beach and, you know, mark their location by standing in front of it, and it'll be kind of a nice enhancement.
I do like it as far as the visual, because the red brick to me isn't all that appealing, and this is one of those things that actually draws my eye to something, you know, that looks more attractive than the thing that is hiding, so well done.
Oh, thank you. Any other questions?
Any input from Mark or Tony?
The new patio is completed and foot wash station, infrastructure's in for that. Two more bays, and the new patio, or picnic tables are out there as well. Vermilion and Bloom and the
Sure
short
thing.
thing.
We do have to give a big thank you to Sure Thing. They have donated the 3 tables that are there, and the umbrellas that were formerly on the deck are gonna be also placed on the 3 tables. Sure Thing's decided that they're gonna order another table because it looks like there's enough room on that patio for another table. And we're also talking about putting a table at the end of the patio pad that's on the west side of the beach. So we are really fortunate to have that group really being supportive of that. And of course, I'm part of Vermilion and Bloom, but it's a pretty incredible organization that put together that patio, and Dana really did a beautiful job of working with Barnes and the designers to come up with a beautiful location to enjoy the location, sunsets, the harbor. There's so much seating space because of that stone, you know, seating wall. I think it'll really be well used. And there's a tree planted on the west side of that, so someday we're hoping there's shade there. It's always nice to find shade on the beach, so.
Talking about the beach, I have one more comment. Council last night, with the recommendation of the Parks Board, did approve the legislation of no fires on the beach.
Oh, okay,
So that means less.
okay, that was part of our previous discussion, yeah. Okay, so I am gonna need a motion to accept the, down in new business, okay, then I'm gonna do it in new business. Okay, let's see, we do have the recreation and school relations, Dr. Kyle.
No report, thank you.
Okay. And next is Vermilion Community Pool, and I know Karen's been very busy working on that.
I have actually not too much to report, though. We have started our sponsorship campaign, and we're waiting to see how that goes. Mark has been really instrumental in getting the guards all lined up. We've got our schedule almost finished with a few extra activities this summer that we're still working on. So I think it's coming along, and we actually open on Saturday if you want to go out in 54-degree weather and be one of the first people in the pool. It's there, and it will be open.
How hot will the water be?
The heater has actually been going, and it is, I think, close to 80.
77, is that what you said, Mark?
Yeah, it'll just be cold when you get out. It'll feel great when you go in.
Karen, thank you. I know you've put in a lot of time, hours, and we're really excited to have that pool opening. Oh, I skipped over Shozy Park revitalization and transformation. Phil, sorry about that.
You just want to talk to me. Yes, sorry, it's my notes out. So the health and fitness trail, we have, due to the weather, we weren't able to get all the equipment installed. So we're gonna wait for the moisture to die down. Really good thing about that is, Mark and Jeff were able to partner with Lowe's in Lorraine. Something called Hometown Heroes. Company of last 5 years has donated $100 million to local communities nationwide. So Lowe's has actually donated all of the bags of concrete to cement all the posts into the ground. So very thankful for Lowe's to be able to help with that process of it. Last Saturday we had a cleanup. It was very successful. They mulched all the trees that were around there, including the 14 new ones that were planted on Arbor Day, which was, if you were there, was a great ceremony and being able to plant the trees and the dedication. I guess last thing is for the playground. Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's been ordered.
Yes.
And we have a tentative delivery of late June for the actual playground. And then when that's all ready to go, we'll bring it from the board for approval of where everything goes.
Great. I know you've worked hard, Phil. Thank you for your time too and your committee. We're appreciative of that. That's gonna be a really nice park.
Phil mentioned Arbor Day, my tree commission helped plant 14 new trees
Yep, they've been
All
busy
around
too.
the trail.
on the trail.
We have a lot of volunteer help that's really making things happen. We're glad for that.
I don't know if we can make this happen, but my son has to be the first one to go down the new slide.
Oh, I don't know.
He is asked.
So moves.
Okay, Liz, Public Arts Vermilion.
Nothing new this month. Their next quarterly board meeting will be in July, where I'm sure we'll discuss Roger's project and fundraising for that. And the committee's excited to have a lot of high school students from the art department involved in to bring their energy.
Do you have a fabricator for the fish? Have you?
They put out requests for RFPs for proposal to gauge who has the wherewithal.
Okay. Recreation Department, well, we're gonna put that one on hold right now, but we do need to set up a committee and finish up our work with the work that was begun earlier on that committee. So we are gonna put that right now on hold and move on to Rotary Park, and Mark and Karen working on that. Mark, do you have an update?
EDG is presenting their, what we hope is their final plans to the Rotary Club on Wednesday, or a week from tomorrow. And we'll see what the club says about that, and hopefully we're getting to the end of the that part of the process so we can start putting it out for our review here and Port Authority and DNR and everybody else.
And the target date for that is?
Spring of 28. That will coincide with the 100th anniversary of the Vermilion Rotary Club.
Great. Great, thank you for your work with that.
Question, geographically, is the water main thing going under the river?
Yeah, we didn't get we didn't get enough bidders in the spring, so we did receive one bid that was over 20% of the engineer's estimate.
Mm-hmm.
So we automatically have to rebid that, and we're waiting until fall. So
To go to bid again?
to go out to bid again.
So it's not impacting the park yet? Thank you.
Not yet.
Okay, thank you. the last committee is the pickleball courts. Mark?
We're at the point where we're waiting for a couple of dry days in a row, so blacktop will be the next, surface will be the next step in the project, and, which will take a day. We can do, I think his plan is to do the base and the finish coat at the same time, and then they'll have to sit for 30 days or so for it to cure, and then we'll be able to do the color coating. But while it's curing, we will be able to do the rest of the sidewalk and the rest of the fencing and the parking lot improvements. As that comes together, then we can do the color coding, which will be the final. Hopefully July or somewhere in there, maybe.
July 1 maybe,
Somewhere in there.
hopefully.
And I think Connie's expressed
Yes.
interest into flowing into that subcommittee spot.
She was on the volunteer committee, I know.
So I guess my question is, I've played at Fabens a lot on their courts, and they've had a lot of issues with kids with skateboards gouging those courts, and they've had to repair those already. So while that's curing, are we gonna have a method of keeping people off that surface?
They'll be,
Caution tape.
they'll be fenced in, and
It'll be fenced in when we do the surface?
shortly after, we could do snow fence up until, construction fence up until.
Right, I think it would be a good idea, like I said, they've had a lot of issues, they put a lot of money into those already in the 2 years they've had them. Just a data point.
So Connie, I think I'll put your name after the pickleball court subcommittee, and then
Mark and I?
look forward to hearing from you at the next meeting.
Okay.
You can work with Mark and get that all up to date. Okay.
Can I come back to a report for a couple
Oh,
things?
sure.
Did want to report that, we have Rotary members that have signed up to maintain each of the beds in the park. So they'll make sure to weed it on a monthly basis. And at some point, they will make sure the edging is maintained and the bushes are trimmed. So
Okay.
that's signed up for that. Mark, we have an issue with one of the flagpoles where we went to swap to change out the rope and put new rope in, but it came off the pulley up at the top. Do we have a way to get up there to put the rope back on the pulley?
You know how tall or how high that is? We'll take a look at it.
20 feet? I don't know.
I'll get with Bob. And I know we need to get the vegetation on the north side of the wall.
Yeah, and I guess I'm not as concerned about for this weekend, but I'd like to make sure the bed's all clean before Fish Festival weekend. So that's all trimmed and knocked back down. All right, thank you.
Okay. Next, we have open to the audience. If there's someone in the audience who would like to speak, Paul, why don't you come up? I'm just going to remind everybody, you need to state your name, your address, and we will have a 3-minute limit for each of the people coming up to speak. 3 minutes, yeah.
Okay, so my name is Paul Habermel. I live at 5196 Devon Drive, and I'm here representing the Flags on Liberty group. As you know, we've been putting flags up for this is our 6th year doing this, and we just put them up on Saturday. So the reason I'm here tonight is because when they mentioned doing the revitalization of Shosty Park, we decided that we wanted to raise money, put a big flagpole up like they have at the beach with a 12-foot, about 15-foot flag. So I quickly drew up a sketch, which looks like a 3-year-old did it, and I gave it to Mark, and I gave one to Jeff Lucas. And no objections at the time to what we wanted to do or where we wanted to do it. Then later on, I drew up another sketch, which is probably a lot better than you can see. I think I did this when I was 7 years old. So the problem is that we decided this is gonna take about $25,000 to do this. So I was told, that sometimes the veterans organizations are willing to help out, stuff like that. So Cliff German and I went to the veterans organization in Lorraine County and told them what we wanted to do, and we wanted to know if they would offer some help. So they were more than willing. And we showed them the sketch where everything is gonna go. The flag is gonna be out in the wide open. It's gonna be facing the center of the lake, straight across. And they loved the idea of where we were putting it and everything. So they did, they gave us $25,000 to do that. And we purchased a pole and a flag and everything. So now what we're running into is that your Parks Committee has different ideas where you wanna put it. If you look on that sketch over on the far right-hand corner where it says trees, yeah, they want to put it to the right of those trees. Two of those trees are like 80 foot tall. My pole's only 60 foot tall. So you won't be able to see my flag even if I light it up unless you walk around the corner. So the conflict right now is we want to move it back dead center across from the lake. It'll be a navigational aid, straight back into the park. To me, that's not even part of the park when you go across that road. So anyway, it's a little conflict right now of where it's gonna be put.
Mr. Haverhill, who said they wanted to put it over here?
See the trees?
Yeah.
Park wants to put us to the right of those trees.
Who's proposing to do that?
I'm sorry?
Who is proposing to put it over there?
The subcommittee, the subcommittee.
Subcommittee?
Not the Parks Board, the subcommittee.
Okay.
That shows you part.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
My hearing aids don't pick up real good sometimes.
That's okay.
Okay, so,
So we are at 3 minutes, so if you could.
yeah. So we've had like 2 or 3 meetings already and we can't come to an agreement. In fact, we are pretty adamant about if the flag doesn't go in the center, then we don't even want to put it in the park. This was a $25,000 donation from the veterans group, and their attitude is the same thing. It has to go where we had mentioned it, where we presented to them, or they may want to withdraw, I don't know. So that's where we stand right now. And we're kind of waiting on what you guys are going to do. I mean, you know where we stand, and we're not changing.
Okay, we did meet with you and Cliff, and as we explained, and we came up with an alternative to that first, proposal. And so, as we explained, the Parks Board has to approve. We are not, right now, today, willing to, want to, have to, or we want to gather more information and, make a best recommendation. Mark, has talked with you and Cliff both about why those alternate A and B sites appear to be really very good sites. And so we the door's not shut, conversation isn't over, but we do have to work with the subcommittee. They've also put in a lot of time. We have, groups who want to look at the stars at night. We have groups who want to play. We have a big contingency of, constituents who want to work together, just like Main Street. And so, we thank you. We are going to keep working. We definitely want to come to an agreement. So thank you very much, Paul. Thanks for all you do. We respect the flag. We want to make sure that it's a special place. We want to make sure it's safe. We want to make sure it's ADA accessible. We want to make sure it's in a good location for drainage, for access, as a big part of the park.
So we will take care of the cost of doing kind of camouflage those, I don't know what this pump station or what that is there.
Oh.
Yeah, so we will do, put bushes or whatever it takes to hide all of that. If it's a drainage problem, I'm sure we get involved in that and do part of that. Veterans Organization has pretty much kind of like, you want more money, come back. So.
Well, we're fortunate to have that as well. So thank you.
There-
I think Cliff wants to come up and have a word?
I'm gonna take less than 3 minutes. if that's
Okay, come on up, Cliff. We know your name, but you still have to say your name and address because it's part of the protocol.
Thank you. Cliff German, 12903 Westlake Road, Vermilion. Thank you for allowing me to come up for a couple of minutes. And I just want to say that in several ways, and I'm going to take some of the responsibility with this, we got the cart before the horse. We did. Paul and I, in some ways, because we were dealing with someone that we thought was the chairman of the revitalization program. We never thought about subcommittees. We never thought about park board committees. We never thought, we were dealing with someone that said, was a revitalization chairman. We didn't cross a T or dot an I without going through him first. Part of the commitment from us to Lorain County, and Lorain County veterans had no clue, they didn't even know where Vermilion was. Trust me. And when we went to them and said we wanted to use the Shozy Park, they didn't know where Shozy Park was. And they said we're not interested because it's in Erie County. It is not in Erie County. It's in Lorain County. And we talked to them. We went to meetings. We went to several. And every time we came back, talked to Jeff, never thinking that we had to come. If he would have told us that we need to come to the park board, or we would have came to you guys. We wouldn't have wasted our time with that. Or, and maybe I wasted time, is not correct. But we went through all this, and they were so excited when Paul finally drew up for the 20th time his drawings. Lord. Okay. But anyway, he drew it up, and they agreed. Man, this is super. This is what we want. We're not gonna give you 500,000. We're gonna give you the 25,000. But as we talked about it, we had a great meeting yesterday. A great meeting yesterday with Tina and Mark, and it shows in part. There were only some stipulations. There's always stipulations. Somebody's gonna give you 25,000. Normally they don't say, here you go, have a good time with it. Okay? They wanted a plaque. They wanted a landscape. They wanted a memorial stone. They wanted some benches. They wanted this to be a navigational tool. Just like it is at Main Street. Now, and we would never do that. We're not gonna do the same mistakes. And there's a couple of mistakes at Main Street. The lighting there, wow, man, that's enough lighting there for an operating room. You don't need all that light, okay? All right, so we're gonna raise the lights up. Jim brought that for us. But there's some things we wanna do. But we do want this to be the center. We want this to be a focal point. One of the focal points. We don't want it behind trees, okay? We wanna bring a power to it. Some of these places, it's a little more difficult. We talked to Mark yesterday about the ADA ramps. I mean, we gotta keep looking for ideas on how we can do things and not how we do things, okay? And I think we got into a little bit of that. So we're asking for you to please consider what Lorain County veterans want to do. I don't want to give that money back. We've all worked hard, and I'm asking you to just think that through. And thank you.
You know we will.
And I know you will. And it was obvious yesterday, obvious, in 30 seconds, that everything that we went through, you guys didn't have a lot of clue about that. You did not. A lot of people there did not. I said, really? 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 I said, yes. Didn't you know this? Somebody here did. And it wasn't relayed appropriately. And we were, You like the word used, disappointed? I was disappointed in that, right? Yes. Did I wake you up? Okay. All right, thank you for your time, and we ask you to please reconsider that, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time
Yeah.
and your.
Just one thing I want to mention about next year, we want to put black marble podiums up in front of where the big flag is, with the emblem from every branch of service and laid in the top, so that should really look nice next year when we add on to it.
Well, remember, we will continue to discuss all of the plans, and we will come up with an approval and a recommendation. We're just not ready to do that right now, because you just added something in there, so.
Tina, if I could help you be a part of this going down the road, I would love to be a part of it. You gotta realize this is a passion for all of us, I'm sure, okay? Thank you.
Do you have anybody else from the audience? Oh, go ahead, come on up. Your name and address, please.
Amy Martin, 446 Harcourt Road. I'm president of Kiwanis Club of Vermilion, and we have a disappointing matter to bring to your attention. We were told, we went to council meeting yesterday, and we were told to bring it to the Parks Board. Kiwanis is a global service organization dedicated to helping children. Our Kiwanis Club of Vermilion is just getting restarted, and we've been raising funds to provide for the children in our community. One of the things that we voted on this winter was to do a sponsor a rec baseball team. We were all looking forward to it. We were planning a day to take drinks and snacks to like our team. So in the course of trying to find out the schedule, we found out instead that we have no team. But this is only after many attempts, calling and messaging and not getting a response. When we finally got a response, it was that an email had been missed and t-shirts had already been ordered, so we couldn't have a team. But we didn't send an email. We sent a letter stating we wanted to sponsor a team on March 24th, along with our check that was cashed and came through our bank on March 28th. I don't know if the rec director is a new director, because my children haven't played rec sports in over 15 years. But needless to say, we are very disappointed. And since we were overlooked, we hope that no other children who wanted to play were overlooked. Kiwanis Club will continue to support the activities of the children in our community. So we hope the system will be improved so we don't have this disappointment. Kiwanis will be asking for our sponsorship feedback so that we can vote on what other thing we want to sponsor again. And I thank you for your time.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes.
I am very apologetic. I don't know where things fell apart. I will certainly find out where things fell apart, and I will make sure that, A, we discuss it and make the necessary changes, and B, it can't happen again.
Correct.
And I, again, thank you.
And I
for-
don't know if with this, anything that you needed to see.
I would like to have a copy of that, please.
You may have this. So.
Okay, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't know anything about that until you.
Well, we just found out about it last Thursday, so, that we don't have a team, because we were trying to reach out and we've got no response back. So that shows that we, exactly what our check was for, and.
Okay, thank you. I'll follow up. I'll get back to you. I have your information here, so I will get
Thank
back
you
to
very much for your time.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience? Cole?
My name is Cole Rainey. I live at 5637 Hanover Square. I told my mom I was coming to this meeting for my government class at school, and right next door to my house is Hanover Square Park, and she wanted me to ask about a bench that went missing. I remember being in timeout on that bench when I was young.
Oh, we better get that back.
That's all.
Okay, Cole, well, we're gonna look into that. Maybe we might need your brute strength to help us get it back
I'm right
there.
next door, so.
Okay, we could be calling you. Thank you for your participation in public government. Is there anybody else who would like to speak? Okay, we'll follow up on that, and I will also get back to you, Cole, so you know what the resolution will be. Okay, we have first old business. Is there any old business that we need to take care of at this time? I don't think so either that I'm aware of, so we'll go to new business. And I guess the first matter of new business will be the literacy little library. We are going to have to make a decision about whether to accept that donation and how it will be installed and the location that it will be in at Sherwood Park or another
Before
park.
we make a motion, any input from Mark on that as far as materials or in general?
No, I think I've already talked to them a couple times. The location that we were looking at was near the bike
Station?
There's already concrete slab there. And it's near right near the east-west driveway, so it'll be very accessible.
Okay.
Madam Chair, are we on another old subject now?
No, we're still on this old
Okay,
subject.
all right. Let me know when wake me up when we're.
Okay, well, this is a new subject, I should say. So is it best for the parks to install that versus having a volunteer install it? Is there any preference?
I met with a couple of them, and the one gentleman was going to, with a little bit of help from us, we were gonna coordinate the
Okay,
installation.
so you'll coordinate the installation, you'll ensure that the location is, we're talking about Sharon Park at this time. And
Tina, I can share with you that the structure for the library is not a homemade one. It was part of the kit that was donated to our club, Rotary Club. That'll be assembled and it's all new pieces and parts put together, similar to other little libraries about. I think it's all really white, so it fit in.
will someone in your club be maintaining that then? I mean, just checking on it to
Yes.
make sure that?
Yes, and there's 2 members that have already volunteered that they'll be checking on to make sure that the books remain stocked. One is pastor, church across the street.
Oh, Trinity Lutheran Church, yeah.
So,
Grace.
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 Methodist.
Grace
Grace
Methodist,
Methodist.
oh, wrong church, sorry.
One side of town.
Yeah, Trinity.
Grace.
yeah, so the club will be actively maintaining the books in there, and the expectation is that it would be primarily children's books, not adult books.
Okay. Right, we do have a library down at Main Street Beach now, and it actually is pretty well used, so, yeah, that's great.
I'll make a motion that we accept a gift from the Rotary Club of a little library at Shrine Park, and to be installed under Mark's direction and maintained by the club.
Vermilion Rotary Club.
I second that.
Laughlin,
Approved.
Kyle,
Yes.
Paterno,
Yes.
Reinhardt,
Yes.
Eldon,
Yes.
D'Uzio,
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, was there some old business you wanted to bring up at
There
this
was.
point?
Yes, you may, the board probably remembers that some time ago, the Girl Scouts came in
Oh.
with their project of the toy box, community toy box, in a similar fashion to the library, community toy box from Main Street Beach and Park. I had the privilege of being able to see that yesterday. 2 very excited little Girl Scouts took me down there to take a look at it.
And took your picture.
They took my picture with it, holding a toy, no less.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very nice and it's well placed, and I'll bet it's used. And it was a nice idea, nice of the board to grant them permission to do that.
Thanks for the follow-up on that, because I was watching all that all happen, and those 2 little girls were very excited with their mom and leader.
All right.
And we have another one coming at Shosey with another troop.
Yes. Okay, next new business is the sign for Main Street Beach and Park on the pump house, as I kind of described earlier. Does anybody have any questions, input?
Yes, so the picture I saw covered the entire side of it. But I'm hearing there'll be a frame for it of some sort that this doesn't show.
Well, it'll be behind it, kind of. It's really gonna cover the whole bricked area of that pump house.
Okay.
So the frame will kind of be behind and away from the building too, a little bit, because they need access to the things that, are.
So the frame's there to mount it on, not
Yes.
to frame the picture.
Right, no, it's only a mounting frame. Right,
And to clarify that the edges won't go beyond the width
right.
and the height of the building.
Yes, that's exactly correct. It will really follow the exact width and height of the building, so it'll really just be like one face of that south face of the building. That's
Are the
intent.
pictures that were shared, what will be on there, or is it designed to be decided?
Oh, it was in your email?
Yeah.
Sent? Yeah.
Those are.
Those are, I mean, there's still, if there's any input as related to, tweaks or whatever,
I had made the recommendation if maybe the beach doesn't go on as far to more represent our coastline, that it's not accessible for that.
And I did hear maybe some floating ice chunks. The winter seemed like being good too. So, if anybody has anything else, you know, it's still, we could definitely.
Is there any reason it doesn't say Vermilion, Ohio on this? Just Main Street Beach?
No, there really isn't.
Could we ask
Is that a
graphic
suggestion?
designer maybe to drop
add
that in,
Vermilion
see if
on?
it's not too busy, Main Street Beach Vermilion, or Welcome to Vermilion,
Or
Ohio?
maybe it could go at the bottom.
Just at the bottom, you know, yeah. Okay,
This one, here in the bottom.
So, can we make a motion to move forward or accept the idea of the project with the final artwork to be approved? Is that acceptable? To the board, to the clerk?
As far as you want to make your motion, but yes, that is acceptable to me.
Well, I will make a motion that we accept the gift of signage on the Main Street Beach Pump Station to enhance its appearance, with the final artwork to be re-presented to the board.
I'll second.
Okay, Musiel,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Paterno,
Yes.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Laughlin,
Yes.
Eldon,
Yes.
Swinehart.
yes,
Motion carried.
okay, thank you. Is there any other new business? Okay. Well, that means we can set our next meeting date for June 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m. here at the Municipal Court Complex, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.